Ashe, Ashe and Grand Rising. Another grand day to you all, my fellow humans. And welcome to this, the 24th in the series of Another Perspective on Healthy Living. With, of course, your Senior Lifestyle Advisor Plus. Yes, it is I, the Mystic Philosopher. And as customary, just got back from my grand rising workout, and I'm feeling good. So I said, let me just stop in and just do this 25th. And in fact, I thought I would end it today to start the new series on Another Perspective on the Mark of the Beast. But when I check my notes, it extends over, so I will be doing another one, 26. Let me also quickly remind you that if you haven't yet watched episode 24, and all my previous episodes starting from episode 1 to the last episode 23, and I suggest that you watch them in consecutive order. Yeah. I ask that you please do so before you watch or listen to this episode 25. Or even if you watch or listen to this episode 25 because it started already. Yeah, I recommend you go back if you find it interesting. I mean, these are my perspective. You know, as you get older, most of your friends them drop out, go missing. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So in order to keep occupied, among other things that I do, my music and my other stuff, writing, etc. I like share my perspective and hopefully get people thinking. You have to agree with me, please. You don't have to like me either, please. But just another perspective. Because when you speak the truth, you're gonna offend somebody. The truth is an offense, meaning it will offend you, throw you off your edge, and because you go. So just share that perspective. So in episode 24, I had you listen to an audio. Remember, I had you listen to an audio, or the audio of a video, and the video is titled "The Three Richest World Leader," or Three Richest World Leaders. And in my commentary on that audio from the video, I focused on the second richest among the three, and the gross, what I consider to be the gross greedy and the gross greed and stupidity of him, owning more than 600 Rolls Royce motor cars. I remember I said if he owns 600 more than, then we run it up at 730. Anyway, I also honestly think that in episode 24, I had offered enough reason and proof that should prove without a shadow of a doubt that these humankind and others like themselves are not leaders, but that they are only so-called leaders. You remember me saying that? From my perspective, they have and they are deceiving the majority of us, the natural native earthly humans, into believing that they are indeed leaders. They are deceiving us into believing that they are real and practical world leaders. At that, real and practical world leaders meaning that they are literally, spiritually, empathetically, and practically leading all of us peoples of the world from all wars and the deadly consequences thereof. That's what they would have us to believe, that they are leading us away from the pain, the anguish, the agony, the loss of innocent lives, the genocides, the atrocities thereof. They did want to deceive people into believing that they are leading us, right, away from wars and the involvement in all forms of wars, in all forms of conflicts and confusions, hatred, isms and schism, real and empathetically and practically leading all of us. They want us to believe that they are really and empathetically, really, literally, really, spiritually, empathetically, and practically leading all of us, peoples of the world, from injustice and all forms of injustices, from hunger, brutality, poverty, you name it or you name them. Right? And that they're leading us into an abundant life, or a life of abundance, aka a life of peace and happiness. That is what they would have a lot of people believe. That they are really leaders leading us to peace and happiness. I told you that we should not and that we must not allow ourselves to be deceived by these humankind anymore. And that from my perspective, these unconscionable creatures and humankind may be best described as being directors. According to the language, remember this is not my language. This is not my ancestors' language. This is my oppressor's language. So it grieved me to know that I have to use it even to speak, to communicate my thoughts. But I'm using it. I have to. Circumstances beyond my control, at least for now. So, and I don't know it. Was never taught it. So in order to really interpret it as best as I can, I have to always frequently visit what? Their dictionaries. So from my perspective, based on the language and the words, right? The words that may best describe them, they may be best described as directors. They may be described as best described as oppressors, who feels it knows it, and oppressive dictators. They may be best described as being instructors, drivers, slave drivers, liars and politicians, aka polite tricksters, etc., etc. But definitely, most definitely not, they are not in the least real, let alone practical world leaders. From my perspective, activated common sense will affirm that if these humankind so-called world leaders were in any sense of the word verb, lead, and the word noun, leaders, this world would be a much safer and better place for all of us, the natural native earthly humans, or for all natural humans and all other natural native earthly inhabitants to live. This world would be a better place for all of us natural people and natural things to live or to inhabit. All wars, if there were real leaders, all wars, crimes and violence, all destruction on our planet and its ecosystems, etc., would be a minimum, if not non-existent. And why? It is because these so-called leaders would be the ones at the front of every war, of every battle and conflict that they themselves directly and indirectly have created. They would be the ones, if they were real leaders, they would be the ones at the front of every war. And as such, they would be the first to be killed. They would be the first to be eliminated from our planet. And I remember back in the day, we used to sing a song, oh, what a happy day, or a happy night of rejoicing that would be for all of us oppressed peoples of the world, if they should just go missing. And because they would be the ones at the front of the battle and all battles, and they know exactly what that means, guess what? They would do whatever it takes, and they are doing whatever it takes, and all that it takes to be at peace. They would be doing whatever it takes, and all that it takes to do what? To be at peace at all times with those that they perceive or may perceive as be their enemies. There would be peace on earth. And now we know that because of their worldly wealth, because of their worldly fame, their worldly material possessions, their worldly power and notoriety, etc., and their attachments thereof, they all want to live. These humankind don't want to die. They are petrified and terrified of death. Some of them travel with some of the system's best medical doctors and healthcare professionals. They travel with them anywhere they go. They travel with them at all times. There's a doctor with them because they don't want to die. Some of them, even when they are all sick, their body diseased and their mind lame. And even when they are lame, physically lame and totally helpless, and are in no more and are of no more use whatsoever to the planet or its inhabitants, they will be lingering. And some are still lingering in their vegetative state just because they are petrified and terrified of death. And all because they don't want to look themselves into their own inevitable judgment mirror, their Akashic records, also known as their sure and inevitable judgment. For as it is written in their own Adamic race history and holy book, and I quote, as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after that there's a judgment. Maybe not like how some people perceive, but yes, you have to give account. The meaning, the moment you have consciousness and intelligence, we have to give account. I ask you to listen to one of my songs called Death is No Escape from the Crimes That You Have Committed. It's on my YouTube channel here. From my perspective, real leaders as exemplified by lions and all other animals in the animal kingdoms are strong, bold, and courageous. They are both mentally, spiritually, intellectually, psychologically, emotionally, and physically strong, bold, and courageous. For example, and from my perspective, a leader would not send someone that is weaker and less capable than he himself or herself to the front of the battle to fight his or her enemy while he or she is hiding, trying to save his or her life in some bunker far, far, far away from the battlefield or from the battlefront. To me, that is a coward. A coward. That's cowardice. Something happened or something is happening, and the first thing we do, or most we do, is to go run and protect the so-called leaders. When we see in nature that if or when a lion, a leader of a pride, when a lion's pride is being attacked, that it is the lion, the leader, the male lion, to be precise, and not the lioness or their young ones, their cubs, that run head on to meet and confront the attacker, also known as the intruder, and deal with the matter, even at the expense of his own injuries or his own life. He don't, and he can't run away and hide for his own safety in some bunker or some other place. But on the contrary, what we see with these so-called leaders today, something happened, and guess what? The first thing they literally do is run away and hide or fly away and hide. That's not leaders, my friend. Look up where that makes sense. From my perspective, our source and mother nature, coupled with our own activated common sense, will affirm that the purpose of a real leader is to defend. The purpose of a real leader is to protect, to provide, to love, and to execute justice, and above all, to care for the weak and defenseless, and most definitely not to abuse, rob, cheat, and exploit them for their own selfish gain, power, control, and self-exaltation. Again, I ask that you please go back and listen to episode 24. The one previous to this. I also ask that you ask and answer yourselves the following 3 questions. Again, which I did over there. What is the purpose of a motor car? Question number 2, can a natural human drive in more than one car at the same time? Question number 3, how can a human of naturally sound mind experience and enjoy a life of happiness by owning over 600 cars for their own personal use? And my main reason for doing that was and still is to prove to you that from my perspective, these materially rich, famous, and politically powerful people, and especially these so-called leaders, are not naturally happy, and nor can they be happy. Superficially happy maybe, drug up happy maybe, pretend happy maybe, but definitely not they are not naturally happy. It is to prove to you that they have no time for true happiness. And why they have no time for true happiness, you may ask? It is because their minds, their faculties, and every fiber in their being are consumed with their worldly material possessions and their excess greed and want to have, own, and control more, and much more. It is to prove to you that the way of happiness these so-called leaders know not. They don't know, let alone understand, and understand that the time to be happy is now. They don't know, understand, that the place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make other people happy so that they themselves can have a little piece of heaven down here. Abundant life. They don't know that. So if or when you see or hear of these materially rich and wealthy so-called world leaders, and world leaders consumed with greed and hunger for power, whenever you see or hear of them robbing, cheating, abusing, exploiting, oppressing, enslaving, displacing, persecuting, and making and instigating wars, etc., among our fellow natural native earthly humans, when you see or hear of them destroying the planet and doing all manner of evil, you name it or you name them. No, you know. I know that you know that it is because they are not happy. Again, check out the previous presentation. No, you know that they are haunted. No, you know that they are tormented and that they are restless and ruthless souls. No, you know, I know that you know that the reason why some of them are still alive is because the messenger of death has chosen to let them live long and longer in their miseries. It is because death, in some cases, have rejected and forgotten some of them. If you really want to put curse on these evil people, don't wish for them to just expire like that. Let them live and face the reality here and experience some of the evils that they have done to other people. It is also to prove to you that even when they are told what to do to save themselves and inherit happiness, aka eternal life and abundant life, in order to escape their miseries because of their attachment to their worldly material wealth, to their worldly power, fame, and possessions, that just like the philanthropists we spoke about there in episode 24 and prior, that went away very sad after seeking comfort, after seeking happiness and consultation and help from Jesus, aka also known as Yahushua, they would rather continue to suffer in their miseries, they suffer in their restlessness and torment. But again, I've run out of time, my people, for this segment. So please join me in episode 26, when I think I will just wrap up this series by talking a bit more about the dangers of envy, which is also known as bad mind, and in preparation for a new series, which will be titled Another Perspective on the Mark of the Beast by yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. So please stay tuned and join me then. I also ask that if you can, that you please support this series of short presentations titled Another Perspective on Healthy Living by simply purchasing your daily supply of lignans. And the lignans I'm promoting is from the Norwegian spruce tree, and the brand is called Fountain of Life. Purchase it from yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher, by clicking on the links provided in the description area below this video. You may also purchase a digital copy of my song playing in the background, and it is titled Have You Heard of Fountain of Life? Do that by clicking on the link provided there. And you may find other songs on my channel that I do that you may support. Your kind support will be greatly appreciated to do some more work. In the meantime and between time, in your becoming, my people, I will that you be more and more, and definitely not less, aka blessed. I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.